Okay, Likutei Halachos, Siman Pei Daled. Hilchas Bircot Hashachar, Halacha Hey, Siman Pei Daled. Vezeu, and this is what they said, this is what they said, now the crowd will graze, everything around us, like the ox or the bull grazes the green, the grass of the field. They are worried that the highly nation of Am Yisrael, Aksherim, those, the kosher Yidel Chayidin, Havi'irim Bizgolus Rotzon Mechodosh, the Bechol Yom, that illuminate every single day a rejuvenation of the ambition, the Kedusha. Shehem Yelachechu v'Yakvos Kol HaSibuvim HaRaim Shalem, that they will graze and mow all their bad sibuvim and inyonim and shel chares avos shel chachmei hateva. These are the scientists of chachmei hateva. שמסבב מדרכי התורה האמיתיס, they take the דרכי התורה האמיתיס בסיורים רעים שלהם, they show it from their bad vantage points. בבחינת סביב רשעים ופלחים, they twist everything, they make it into nothing. ואתה, זה הקהל הקודש, רוצים לכם ולעקום לגמרי, now this הדרך היינו want to come and totally yank them out. זה כלכו חשור הסער כסודה. This is like a bull grazes the grass of the field. היינו שאומרו שהקהל לקדושה של ישראל. She says that the קהל לקדושה דאלה חיידן, this is what the Israelis are saying also. They want to totally turn them off and yank them from their roots. כמו ממש שמסכים לכו חסידות הקדושה, the very same way that they're trying to undo the side of holiness. שזה כלכו חשור. Shor denotes, there's one place when we have in the Gemara shor is a shor mazik, right? Shor is a mazik. Shor amud. זה מבחינת חטא העגל, the shor of the Avodah Zarah, the din of Avodah Zarah, is the hepech, is the opposite of the ambition to kedusha. They exchanged, they pawned their kavod, which means kavod the kedusha, in the form of an ox that eats green. The shor represents a very, very strong klipa. It's called the worm. It's like the termites that wants to surge every single day, as it is said in the Kavanos in Pashas Atomim. You should see what the Arizal talks about it. The very same way that the ox grazes the greenery of the field. That damaging shor, this is the bad animals. These are the people who base their point of view on what they learn in science. Ikar is gabrusam, the main thing that they want to, they want to take the children. They want to overtake the children. They want to, tell them, you got to worry about what's going to be with you, or you got to make a living, you need a career, you need to be a lawyer, you need to this, you need to learn, you need to learn all the limudim, you need to learn the languages. And if you don't know languages, so what? Does that assure anybody that they're going to have nothing? That they already mauled and devoured and yanked out a lot of children that completely lost their Yiddishkeit. כל מי שיצא בתי כנסיות שלהם הרעות כנפו, כל anybody that comes out of their shul, השם ירחם. וזה בחינת סירק הסוד, that this is the green of the field, because Nafshas Israel, the Neshamas of Am Israel, are called tzmachim, they're called plants. כמו שכוסו, it says in Yecheskel. Let's see if we can get a little better lighting here. Yeah, I think so. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I think so. As it is said, Yecheskel, Revava ketzem asade nesatich, plentiful like the plants of the field that I've given you, I've put you. Ve'ela yelodim v'norim, and these children and these boys, this is the plants of the supernal field. Yerek, what's it called? Yerek, why is the place called Bishon Yerek? What's Bechinas? It is said in Bereshis, we just learned in 2 Pashas ago, Yerek is Chanichav, shall become Betshuva, that he Yerek is Bechinat, that it's like the very same way that the plant is green, when it's fresh, it's green, then when it's old, it becomes yellow, it becomes dried out, or whatnot. Vayarek is Chanichav means he made them make new beginnings, they made tshuva again. And if they would actually be educated in the way of the Elche way of themselves to learn Chumash with Rashi and Gemara and Poskim and the Sifrei Musa Kedoshim, he says what wonderful fruits would have grown out of them. And they planted fields. We took Romim and they planted vineyards, and what wonderful produce comes out of it. And these bad animals, these they are the damaging shore. They are busy to devour them and to yank them out while they're still young. Like the ox grazes the greenery of the field. The same way, the Shor HaMazik, Gama Rotzim, the damage of the holy ambition is busy to devour the Yerek HaSoder. Now, Yelachechu HaKol, the Kedusha, the Elachim are going to devour everything around us. Everything that we're trying to undermine the Kedush, they're going to undermine us. And you can see this happening today. There's somebody wrote an article, he says, you have to be very wary of the Haredim. He says, because they're going to become the most, they'll become the majority. And he says, and we have to do something about it. And we have to, because, then just, he says, we did not create this country, for this. So what we should do, he says that we should put centers, to spread our culture and, in other words, to take the children. This is what he was saying. Hashem Yirachem. I saw this on the internet. I put a remark on this. I said, why don't you say what you really think? Why beat around the bush? Suggest something realistic. We know what you really think. Make concentration camps. Make gas chambers. That'll solve the problem. Put some, a speaker in the middle of the street will do something. Yeah, this is exactly what he's saying. That's what their answer was, the solution was, to call Bilam Shutkenas Metzach HaNochosh. That's the forehead, the resoluteness of the Nochosh. That's the very root of Chochmas HaTeva. So these bad animals, יקבלו חס ושלום כוח משורשם. They want to connect to the very, very root. על כן התייעצו עם זקני מדיין. That's why they took עצה from זקני מדיין, the elders of Midian. שהם בחינה זקן הידור שהם שלמוס. They represent the elders of generation that are imperfect. You know, when Ramina speaks in Torah Aleph, in Maisa Aleph, Maisa Ma'avedas Vasmelach. So he said that after he went through whatever it is he went through, and he fell asleep for 70 years and he rediscovered Yiddishkeit, you know, and he kept on going, and what happened to him, and he went through all these trials, tribulations, or whatever it is, and then he meets these three people. He meets this person, this huge, this giant, this carrying a huge tree, and this giant is telling you, you know, says, "Who are you?" He says, "He's a person." The giant says, "A person? No, I haven't seen a person here for a long, long time." And he asks him, says, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I'm looking for the princess. You know, there's a mountain of gold with a castle made of pearls." And he told him, "Sishtos." And he's ba'action such, and he's being an action. So he says, "Listen, I'm the one who is in charge of all the animals in the world. I'm going to call them all, ask them, maybe they saw something." And they come and they said they haven't seen anything. So he says, "I told you this is a shtus." Then he actually says, and he's crying, he says, "No, he says, okay, listen, my opinion, you ask me, it's a shtus. But your actions, he said, so much, I'll send you to my brother. My brother is in this desert, and he is the one who is in charge of all the birds. And they're flying above, maybe they know." And the same thing happens with him, and then he sends to his brother, and his brother is the one who is the Memuna, the one in charge of all the winds. You know, and he also tells them there's no such thing, and only because it was an action, he went through the whole thing, and these giants represents the Metzach Hanocha. They represent the authorities. First of all, the Chayos. This is Chayos, the one who was in charge of all the scientists. You know, they said that Einstein said this, and Hawking said this, and Schmocking said this, and Weinstein said this, and each one is a, you know, and they found out, and this, you know, they had a svar, you know, like there is a whole school, a German school of learning the scriptures from the late 19th century, whereas the whole kavana is to prove that what the Torah says, Hashachar, is not so. It never happened, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, whatever it is. So, we spoke about it a couple of times. So, for the longest time, they said there was never such a David HaMelech, never existed. They didn't find it in archaeology, whatever it is, never existed. It was a whole shita, was a whole thing, was a whole, okay, fine. Then, suddenly, they dug up in a place that stuff, you know, from, I don't know, whatever it is from, it was, I don't know, how long ago it was like 2,500 years ago, something like this, that it says, Beis David.
Coin.
Yeah. What was it, coin, whatever it is, Beis David. Okay, so what do you do now? So they say, you know, it was just a small little regional king. Maybe, you know, there was a David, but it was just a little, you know, a guy with a kiosk selling stuff at Shabbos. So that's not okay. Now they found the city of Sha'araim, the David HaMelech built. And it has mamish gates on both sides. that was a secondary city. It's already a big city. Okay, so, but the point is that by them the truth doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. What matters is what I say there was, and people think that what I say is the truth. That's it. Everything else does not count. Truth does not count by them. It's gomished. And when a person wants to get into the Kedusha, he has to break away from the death grip that these theories have on his mind. The one that is the master of animals, that's the scientist. The one that is the master of the birds, that's the philosopher. You know, and there were big people with huge trees. You're talking about very intelligent people, and the huge trees signifies the very great chokhmah and that. And the last obstacle that prevents him from getting to the Shekhinah is the one of Memuna Laruchos. He's a Rav. He's a Rav. He's a rabbi. Memuna Laruchos on spirituality. He's the one that he knows spirituality. He knows everything. He says, there's no such thing. The Rabbanim that keep the Yidden under their thumb. You know, they're keeping their mamlacha, and they figure that this is Yiddishkeit. This is what it's about. You know, I should come, I should eat kigel, you know, and you should sing in Tishin and whatever it is. The whole thing is like it's like a club. Baruch Hashem. It's very important. Rabbi says we have to be very grateful to them. You know that they keep the Yidden in the levush and everything. But they hold them back. And then when the people of the tzaddik come around and tell us, you know, talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu, come close to Kodesh Baruch Hu, you look at them and go like, hey, what are you doing? Now they're going to graze, you know, everything we're trying to do, like, I mean, the Chilonim do it to the Charedim, we did the Charedim, or the Natim, they do it, the Natim do it to the Charedim do it to the Tzaddik. The closer you get to the Emes, the one who are further away, says, hey, what the heck you doing? What's wrong with you? Hey, you're all messed up. They want to get to the Shorish. They want to speak to I spoke to. They get a skama from this Rav, or a skama from this scientist, or whatever, or this philosopher. And they're Ziknei Adosh, Emer Shleimus. These are the elder generations that don't have Shleimus. That Metzach HaNachos takes from there. It feeds from there. It was a big sakona. So it says, but Hashem is Baruch, Kadosh Baruch Hu undid their aids. So the Kirkei Machshavtam, you know, he dispelled whatever they tried to do. They Godel Koichel Shel Moshe, through the great strength of Moshe, Shenichlol Ba'arotzon Ha'elyon, that was included in the supernal ambition, supernal volition. Kol Kach, Hashem is Baruch Hu, he made it such, he sweetened the name so much. Kadosh Baruch Hu was never angry in those days. As Chazal said, he called Koicha Shebilam, the entire Koich Bilam, he would know exactly when Kadosh Baruch Hu was angry. This is he called Koich Hayam Mikas V'Zam V'Roigez Hepech Haros, and all the Koich of Bilam was from anger and from wrath and Roigez, the opposites of Rosa. Rosa is patience, his kindness, is אבל השם יסבור ברח עמו בקדוש ברוך הוא with great racham, לא כעס וזוהם כל עשם all יום, הקדוש ברוך הוא with his great mercy. He wasn't angry, and he wasn't in all those days. עד שברח עמו בעצום יקם את פיו, then הקדוש ברוך הוא twisted the mouth of Bilam and turned the klolo into a bracha. עד כאן.